Hello and welcome to On the Bench, the sports discussion show for Northern Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire right here on Estuary TV. Joining me in the studio tonight, fresh from victory in the FA Trophy at the weekend, we're delighted to welcome James McKeown and Shaun Pearson from Grimsby Town. Thank you very much for coming in. Coming up on the show tonight, Matt Denson went along for a training session with the Grimsby Red Wings Ice Hockey Club, and Reid is back to answer your questions in a view from the Estuary. Stay tuned for all of that. But first up, let's take a look at all the results from around the region. Here's Team Talk. It was a great day for our sides in the FA Trophy on Saturday, with Grimsby, Lincoln and North Estuary all winning tricky ties. Grimsby beating Barnet 2-1, Andrew Cook and Dale Southwell with the goals for Town. Lincoln beat Braintree 3-1 with 2 Lincoln goals in the second half injury time. And North Estuary had the result of the round by beating Squill Premier side Woking 4-0. Scunthorpe had a man advantage but could only manage a 1-1 draw with Wickham. Josh Scowen saw red for Wickham after Dion Burton gave the Irons a 1-0 lead in the 49th minute, but Leon Johnson equalised Wanderers in the 97th minute. In rugby union, Cleethorpes overcame last weekend's 47-0 defeat by beating Worksop 39-6 at Luke Harley's to give the Meggies a valuable 2 points. Grimsby lost a thrilling match away at Mellish, losing just by 1 point as they fell to an 8-7 defeat. And in hockey, Grimsby Ladies First would be top of the table at Christmas with a 6-0 win over Hornsey. And in ice hockey, Jeremy Tendler bagged a hat-trick as Hull Stingrays beat Edinburgh Capitals 7-1 at Hull Arena. So mixed fortunes for our local clubs there. Let's turn our attention now to our guests. Firstly, congratulations for your win on Saturday. How was the game for you guys?
It was good. Obviously, it was nice to get through. Getting to Wembley last year, and then it's sort of the aim to get back again.
Yeah, definitely. And Shaun, were you playing on Saturday? It's kind
of... I was on the bench Saturday.
Yeah, so mixing the teams up a lot recently, isn't he?
Yeah, he has, especially for the FA Trophy. You know, we're in a lot of competitions at the minute with the FA Cup still, and hopefully we'll be able to push on all 3 fronts. But it's important to use the whole squad, and at the minute people have been taking advantage of their opportunities, and hopefully that can continue. Yeah,
definitely. And how do you guys feel about the priorities in the team? Because like you say, you're juggling kind of all different things at the minute. How do you feel going forward in terms of your preparation and your priorities for different games?
It's strange because obviously if you're at a big club you tend to probably get rested a bit and then they pick and choose when you play, but obviously at our level you tend to just, if you're in the team you play every game, but the gaffer this year has wanted to obviously freshen it up for the cup games and give other people a game, and you have to get used to it. I've been lucky that I've managed to play every game. I wouldn't really like to be rested, but you have to get on with it.
I suppose it's been working though. I mean, your form's been pretty good up till now, so hopefully it can continue in the new year. And you've got your cup game coming up in January. What are your preparations different to league games? Are they any different, or is it, like you say, just squad rotation?
I think the gaffer will obviously, with a lot of games in that period building up to that game, will change the team, no doubt, building up to it. But when it comes to it, it's just like any other game, really. Obviously, it's got a bit of the added incentive of getting into the 4th round and hopefully getting a Premier League team if we manage to get through. But we'll just prepare for it as usual, and we've just got to make sure we take care of business, so to speak, beforehand in the league and keep ourselves in a strong position before we get there.
I mean, in terms of your perspective, is it a priority for the cup games, or is league games more important to you?
For me, last year getting to Wembley was obviously probably a memory you'd probably take for the rest of your life, but ultimately you want to be in the league, you want to be a league player. So I think if you had to choose, it would be the league, but you don't have to choose, fortunately.
Yeah, fortunately you are in that good position that you can kind of dip your toe in all different areas, but like you say, you get into Wembley and then not quite, getting the final hurdle was difficult. Do you think it'll be different going into the new year?
I wouldn't say so, because I think obviously last year a lot of people said that our form sort of fell away when we got to Wembley, and then obviously we played catch up and made the playoffs and didn't make it. So we sort of come close and then didn't quite do it. So this year I think it's having the experience, and we've brought in a few players that have done it before and got promoted and won the FA Trophy. So hopefully we'll go a step further this time.
Yeah, and Shaun, are you in the same
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can keep our FA Cup run going as well. As players, you want as many games as possible. Much rather play. I'm no doubt James would be saying much rather be playing than training, to be honest with you. So the longer it continues, the better, so to speak. And hopefully, obviously, the priority I would say is the league. We need to get the club back in the league. That's a priority, not from just the players, but I think fans, everybody at the club wants that. So hopefully we can get that this year. But it'd also be nice to go back to Wembley and put it right, to be honest with you, because obviously last year didn't end out quite how we would have liked it to.
Yeah, I think it's difficult kind of getting there and not quite, like I say, reaching that last little bit. And in January, you've got a championship side that you're playing against. How do you prepare differently to any other opponent? Do you have your own kind of set structure, or does it differ with your opponents?
The gaffer tends to, we tend to do a bit on shape on what they're going to do in terms of what formation they're going to play and stuff. And I'd imagine with it playing Huddersfield, we'll probably do a bit more defensive work because you'd expect them to have a bit more of the ball and stuff. But in general, it doesn't really change, does it? It just depends what the opposition do. Depends what we do in training.
Yeah. And Shaun, obviously your goal against Northampton a week ago. Are you expecting to kind of repeat that again coming in January?
Yeah, hopefully.
A few games coming up as well.
Hopefully I can get a couple more goals, and obviously it'd be nice to score again in the FA Cup. I've been fortunate. Whenever I've played in the FA Cup, I've got a reasonable record of scoring goals. So, but hopefully, when we play against Huddersfield, obviously we can keep it tight defensively. Obviously, mine and his main job, so to speak. And hopefully, whether it's me or anybody in the team, hopefully we can manage to nick one and hopefully get through.
Yeah, definitely. Well, obviously, we wish you all the luck in the world for that one going forward. Grimsby Town face Kidderminster Harriers on Thursday evening at Blundell Park. A big match and an opportunity to leapfrog the Harriers in the playoff places. Get down and support the Mariners for that one. Kick-off is 7:45. Also look out for Tony from the Sports Memories Network. He'll be down there as well. Next up on the show, here's Tom with a view from the Estuary.
Hello and welcome to this week's View from the Estuary. What are the benefits of Grimsby Town's new proposed stadium? I think the benefits of the new stadium are going to be quite good actually. Obviously you've got a wide area, a wide field where you can have lots of parking, so obviously you're going to get a lot more fans who can be more accessible for fans. Obviously it's a 14,000 seater stadium, so obviously the current stadium's a lot less than that, so you're hopefully going to get a bigger gate and therefore more money for the team. So I think the chairman's got plans to go to League 2 and maybe beyond. So there's a lot of benefits for this new stadium, so I think it's a wise move for the club. Hull City have the best home defensive record in the Premier League. Can they keep it up? Yeah, I think Hull can keep it up. They've got a good manager in Steve Bruce. He's obviously had more experience than Phil Brown, who was the last manager when they was in the Premier League. So I think if you take that into account, obviously they've got better quality defenders under the guidance of Steve Bruce and his coaches. Obviously half the season's almost gone now, so if that's any indication, if they can repeat that in the second half of the season, then I think that they'll be well on the way to keeping that best defensive home Premier League record. Can Spain retain next year's World Cup? If you look at the other teams around the world, you've got Brazil, Italy obviously are improving. You've also got Holland and Germany, they're quality sides as well. So I think this year, more than most, is going to be difficult for Spain to retain that World Cup. I think Brazil are a threat because they're at home, obviously, that they're playing in their home country. And I think the Germans, their young players, are really coming on a lot in the past couple of seasons, so they're going to be a threat. And I think Holland as well, they've obviously got to the final last time out, so they're going to be a threat. So I think it's going to be difficult for Spain to hold on to that World Cup. So I'd have to say it's going to be difficult, and I'm going to back Brazil to win this World Cup. Has Brian Laws' departure affected Scunthorpe United? Since Brian Laws has left the club, things are looking up actually. You think things would be worse for them as they lose a top manager such as Brian Laws. But the two guys who have come in, well, they're already there, but they've sort of taken the lead at the club, and obviously results are going in their favour. They're still in the playoff positions in League 2, so I can see that carrying on as well through to the end of the season. They've got the momentum and the players obviously, so I don't think that Brian Laws sacking has affected too much at the club, so I think they'll be fine as well.
Thanks, Tom. Remember, if you've got a question you want answering, simply tweet the boys at Ask Estuary. We've got to go to a break now, but we'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the show. We're joined in the studio by James McKeown and Shaun Pearson from Grimsby Town. Now, following an article on BBC Sport website on Saturday looking into the possibility of terraces returning to Britain's top stadiums, we wanted to know what our guests' views were on this. Shaun, can you see them coming back into the stadiums full time? What's your thoughts on it?
I'm not sure about in the Premier League. Obviously, in the lower league, I've watched a lot of lower league football myself, and personally, I've got a major preference for being able to go and stand on the terraces. As a young fan supporting growing up, I would much rather stand up at a game than sit down. Even now, when I go watch a lot of football, and I'd still rather stand and watch than sit. So, hopefully, if they can get a safe way of doing it, it'd be great to see it back, especially on a large scale as you see abroad. It'd be fantastic, and no doubt it'd be more exciting for the fans, I think.
Yeah. James, what do you think it is about standing up at a stadium that makes it that bit more kind of atmospheric and special for the fans?
I think it's just that when teams score, fans stand up. And when fans are singing, they tend to want to stand up. And I think, obviously, you hear the announcement, can all the fans please sit down? And I think if fans want that, I don't see, obviously, as long as it was safe, then I don't really see why not. I played at Peterborough, and the best atmosphere was in the two standing ends.
Right.
So I'd maybe another person be all for it. Like Shaun says, he goes to a lot of games, and the atmosphere is better in standing ends. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because fans tend to be a bit closer together, and obviously the atmosphere, they start singing and stuff, and it just catches on. So
yeah, and obviously you've got the town stadium that hopefully we're going to be looking to get built in the next couple of years, whenever it happens. Would you like to see terraces come into Blundell Park, wherever it may be? Me
personally, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not saying all around the ground, because obviously you've got families and you've got different people, and no doubt some people will want to sit down. But I think it'd be good for the fans if they did have a terrace end at one end. And like James was saying, I think it would provide a better atmosphere.
Yeah, I think that's an important point actually, is that you have got to cater for the people, because there are your die-hard fans that will sing there and they've got the scarves and everything, but there are some fans that maybe don't go as regularly as others, so it's good to cater for everybody. And talking about kind of foreign teams as well, in Germany you have a lot of teams that do have terrace stadiums. Do you think that could kind of work and transcend across over here?
Yeah, without a doubt, because like you say, obviously you've got to cater for everyone, but there is four sides to a ground, so if one end's obviously the away end, and then you've always got at least two seating you can have, and then obviously you have the one end. Dortmund have got the one behind the goal, and when you see it, he's pretty. Oh, it's amazing. It's pretty impressive. Yeah. And I think like it does help the atmosphere, and obviously the fans that tend to want to sing and be the louder ones tend to go in together, and it creates an even bigger noise. And as a player, the best atmosphere, the best games are when the fans are singing.
And obviously you've got, if we had terrace stadiums at Blundell Park or wherever it may be, you've got the opportunity then to lower ticket prices. Do you think that would draw the crowds more, like you say, fill the stadiums and just get more of an atmosphere in there?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer. If you actually break it down and think about it, as long as it was safe, like you say, you get more fans in, which brings more prices in. Hopefully, people, I think, they read in the paper and stuff and they see what the Premiership and all the money in, but as it goes lower down, there's less and less money, and it becomes more normal, if you like, more realistic to probably the real world in a way. Yeah. And fans haven't really got the money to go out and pay £30 to go and watch a local team as much anymore. So if there was standing, obviously, like you say, it would be a little bit cheaper. Yeah. And then they might bring their kids and you get more money back.
All right, thank you very much for that one. We'll see what happens with Blundell Park, you never know. Moving on now, our reporter Matt Denson has been out and about again. This week he was down at Grimsby Leisure Centre, where he donned his blades and joined the Red Wings on the ice for a spot of ice hockey. You won't want to miss it.
So we're here, Grimsby Leisure Centre, the home of one of the world's fastest and most up-and-coming sports, ice hockey. If you've ever seen it on TV before, you'll know what I mean. It's fast, it's well-paced, and I'm going to find out more about it tonight. Grimsby Ice Hockey Centre, here I come. Thank you very much for bringing us down here.
No problem at all.
Looking forward to this. Please tell us where we are and what we're doing.
Right, at the Grimsby Ice Centre, this is the Grimsby Ice Hockey Club, where we've been doing quite a few years, well, a lot of years now. We started in 1932, then we closed down, now we're back up to about early 70s.
Right.
So, yeah, we've got loads of age groups, and we get older winners in.
So at the moment, what age groups behind us at the minute?
At the moment, this is the under 14 squad, which is they're not a bad bunch of lads, but they're still very, very early days for us. It's a bit of development.
They look quite competent to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's open to anybody to come down and get involved.
Yeah.
So you've got yourself as a coach.
Yeah.
How many other coaches have we got here?
We've got one other assistant coach on tonight, and then what we do is we have the stronger players from the under 16s and some of the older ages, the 18s. We encourage them to come down and help out with the younger age groups.
Okay, so everyone helps each other?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and what's the one thing I'm going to take away today? Are you going to wear me out, or are you going to tire me out? What are you going to do?
Probably bruises, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Look forward to it on the ice.
Yeah. Basic stance. Now, if you start to wobble, feel like you want to fall over, to get to your basic stance.
Yeah.
Then if you do fall, you'll be in a better position, or it'll help you stay on your feet anyway. So, basic stance is feet shoulder width apart, get them on your shoulders, push your knees over your toes, hold your sit properly, so turn that hand round, that way. That's it. Right the very top there. Okay, so feet shoulder width apart, knees over your toes. Okay, just put your bottom out like you're sitting in your chair, keep your shoulders over your knees. Okay, well, that's your basic stance.
Wow, what a fantastic evening. If you ever get the opportunity, get yourself down, Grimsby Ice Rink. What fun, thanks to the lads, thanks to the team, thanks for wearing me out.
Thanks to Matt Denson for that one. That was very interesting. Now, finally on the show, we wanted to turn our attention to the match fixing scandal that rocked English football over the last few weeks. An FA official has concluded that this was not a widespread problem, but it still has affected the integrity of the game. What are your thoughts on this, guys? James, first of all.
It's obviously worrying because I think it just makes you suspicious. If someone, someone missed a chance on a Saturday, you might start thinking, oh, has he done that on purpose? But I'm sure that the FA will investigate everything they possibly can, because, like you say, it would be the end of football because of the one thing it is. It's an honest sport. So. Yeah,
definitely. And Shaun, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's obviously not good to see, and hopefully they can get to the bottom of it as quick as possible and kick it out completely, hopefully, because it's not good for the sport. And obviously when people are paying good money to come in and watch, and then you never know whether you're really getting a fair game in front of you, it's obviously concerning. But all I can say is I'm pretty sure James was saying, we've obviously had discussions at the club. No one seems to have ever been involved or heard anything of it, so hopefully it's not too big a problem. Hopefully it can.
I mean, it seems to have, like you said, it's not a widespread problem, but it seems to have been kept in the lower leagues. Have you played against anybody that's been involved, or have you kind of come up against anyone like that?
No, I've never come across it. I've got to be honest.
Not
like,
that
I've heard of players betting on their team to win. In maybe they might have an accumulator on a Saturday and might think, oh, we'll win. But I've never heard of a player obviously getting paid money to get a yellow card or whatever.
And Shaun, what do the FA do from here?
I think they've just got to basically hand out strict bans, really, and hopefully that'll be enough to clamp people down on it, and hopefully people will take notice and not want to do it in future.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll find out what's going on in the future anyway. Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Thanks to our guests Shaun Pearson and James McKeown, and thanks to you for watching. Remember, if you want to contact us in the studio, you can tweet us at On The Bench TV. We'll be back next in the new year for more sport discussion from Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire. Goodbye.